All right, so you want to move on to the questions then?
Yeah, we can move on to the questions for this since we're getting to the next part of the podcast. So this is the part of the podcast where everybody that is listening to this later on or watching us currently right now, they are going to fall in love with the PTO Unlimited podcast. So any of these questions, if there's something, we put this disclaimer out. If there's something that you don't want to answer, don't feel like you have to answer it. You could say pass, or if I'm not sure, or if you only have, we say, what's your five favorite, and you only say one or two, that's fine, whatever it is. It's not a huge thing. We know that, not everything is easy for everybody to some of these questions are even hard for us. I think when we did them, we each did them in, I think, a separate episode, or we did the same episode. Oh, that's when we used to do like 2-hour-long episodes, and then I was the first half, or you were the first half, and then I was the second, one of those things. Yeah. So, we're just going to dive into the questions then. So the first question is probably one of the easiest, but which city did you guys grow up in?
Right, we'll just go down the line like we normally do.
So I grew up in Bluffton, Indiana, and it wasn't even in the city. I lived out in the country all until I moved to Fort Wayne when I was 22. But my home address was Bluffton, which is it was bigger than the town that Josh grew up in, but I'm not sure the population, but there's about 9 streetlights and one main street all the way through town. So very, very small, and honestly, I couldn't wait to get out.
Oh, I bet. Kind of sounds like Gustine.
Yeah.
Out there. Or a lot of the towns that are in Central California are like that. They're like 2 or 3 street lights, and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting for you to take me to the cornfield there.
Oh yeah,
we did.
Hey,
you've been here twice.
Yeah,
they were the perfect times to do
you come
it.
here. We've got some places. I got to take you to the Bell Mansion when you get here.
Oh yeah, you'd like that.
As long as there's not somebody named Malachi out there, right?
Nope. Never mind. I'm not going to the cornfield.
Fun fact: Alyx can't stand
Children of the Corn.
I've never seen it because of her.
No.
And it's being remade.
It is.
And it's being remade. Thank you for pulling that up, Patrick.
You're welcome.
I grew up here in Fort Wayne, Indiana. I was born and raised here.
That's the easiest
thing.
The
I was actually
one.
born in the city, lived in the city.
Never left.
It wasn't
the
it. It was if it wasn't for Josh, I would. I mean, we're
You
still
left
in
for a little bit.
Well, yeah.
Well, that's what I mean. If it wasn't for Josh, I met Josh and he moved away, and then he came back, and then I moved away again, or I moved away with him to South Dakota. Then we went to Chicago, and now we're back. So.
That's Alex.
There is a Fort Wayne, Indiana curse, though. If you were born and raised here, a lot of people after high school and college will try to leave, and there is a curse that pulls you back.
That's no joke.
That's not
no
that,
joke.
Yeah,
I know
there's so many people that
Rick
I've seen.
has done it. Our friend Shane has done it,
Mhm.
which I mean, it's crazy. Rick's left here twice now, hasn't he?
Mm,
He moved and he moved again,
I know he was in Michigan.
but he was also in northern Indiana. So Rick's also done that.
Yeah.
And then Brett did,
the curse is that it's cheap to live here.
and it's
It
a big
used to
city.
be.
It's not quite as cheap as
It used to be. That was one of the big
but
things. It
Well,
used to be.
It's
It's
big enough
cheaper.
that it's got everything you would need, and it's relatively cheap. You're not paying, 4 figures for rent. In some cases you are, but
Yeah.
Well, now you
that's
are.
the main reason.
I always get the updates for housing over there, and I show them to Chris while I play a game, and I say, "Let's play a game. How much is this place?" And I name off everything it has, how much space, everything. And the first time she's like, "Oh, that's got to be like 80,000." I'm like, "Yeah, 134,000." It's just like.
You mean
recently-
you mean 800,000 is what you were guessing the first time?
No, she would say, what did I say?
80,000?
Less?
Oh, well, that's what I'm say 800,000. Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah.
I figured so. Yeah.
But
In California, the house that we're living in now would probably be over $1 million.
oh yeah, definitely.
Well,
Yeah.
depends on where it's at.
Well,
Well, considering like where this house is and how close it is to everything that's around it, and how when we visited California, I got starstruck and said, "Oh my God, we're gonna move to California! It's such an amazing place." And it took me 3 seconds to figure out that that's never gonna
Yeah.
happen.
yeah.
Because
Well,
It's
recently,
but the
I
dream
would
was
say
there
a
for a
place-
while.
like that near Sacramento wouldn't be like $1 million. It
It'd
would
still
still
be
be
higher
a
with
lot.
the
I'm not
property,
saying that
but
it's
yeah.
not going to be,
I was
If you wanna
looking
get
more
expensive
like
house?
I was looking more like LA area.
Oh yeah.
oh yeah, LA is.
I have no
But
idea. I
just
know the house is
recently,
big.
I was driving down the street home, and they're building all these new apartments and stuff. And there was a place called Legacy Hayward. And I said, let me just look this up to how much it is for rent there. And it was the first thing that pops up is this thing that says, recently reduced pricing for 2-bedroom apartments, $3,300 and something.
Oh,
I mean
Yeah,
that's
that's more
way
than a
more than what I
What
pay.
we're paying, yeah.
Yeah, but
No
like
way, man.
it's just insane that they think that people can pay that around here.
it's crazy.
The biggest problem is Silicon Valley. As soon as they came
Oh,
in
I'm
there,
sure.
people saw how expensive it was down there, so they started buying all the houses down in the area where it was supposed to be for the middle class people, and now it's screwing it up for everybody else.
Yeah, and there's a lot of international markets that have purchased housing around here that are just landlords, and
Yeah.
they don't do anything else. And they're not even real landlords. They just own the property.
Yeah.
You know.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's how it works. That's how they get you.
Yep.
That's how they get you.
Josh, where are you from?
Okay, let's start with where I was actually originally from. I
Where were
wasn't
you
born. I
born?
wasn't born where I lived. Let's just say that, because my parents were visiting my grandparents, and they lived in middle of Minnesota. So I lived in Fairfax for the longest time, Fairfax, Minnesota, and then I moved to where I would say the longest portion of my childhood was New Ulm, Minnesota, and that was a town of like, what did I say, like 18,000 maybe. It was a really small town, but it was a very convenient small town. I loved it. I'd go back there in a heartbeat. But
I've been there once.
yeah, well, you drove through there, and
That's what I
then
mean.
in 1999 my dad got a call to go to college here at the seminary to become a priest, and he uprooted a family of 7 and moved 1,000 miles to Indiana, and so we had to learn how to live here forever. Be city folk for a while, and then I met Alyx. But like 3 months before I moved away, like I met Alyx. So
Yeah, bad timing.
bad timing. And then I lived in the middle of South Dakota for high school for 4 years. So yeah, that's
And
my
then he moved
story.
back.
Yeah, that's my childhood.
So
So
he's
he-
come back twice.
So he had some type of weird reverse curse because he wasn't born there.
No, I wasn't.
Nope, he wasn't born, but he's attached to me, so
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
that's the curse goes along with him.
Right.
Okay. So what did you guys want to be when you grew up?
I remember, I remember wanting, as a kid, I was obsessed with dinosaurs most. So I wanted to be, I wanted to dig up dinosaur bones, which I thought was an archaeologist, when in fact that's a paleontologist.
Yeah.
But when I got, that was as a kid. That never really went anywhere. I didn't, put study towards that. When I was in high school, I thought I wanted to be a mechanic because I really loved cars, and I took an auto class, and I realized, it's not what I thought it would be. So while I still love cars, I thought it's just not for me to work on them. So once I decided that was out, I really didn't know what I wanted to do. So I thought, well, I'll just go, do some studies for business. And that's what I did. And, you can't really go wrong with any kind of business degree, especially if you're going to do something in business. So that's kind of where I landed.
Man, and good thing you didn't go doing all that study time for dinosaurs when all you needed to know is you put your hand up and a raptor will stop.
Oh my gosh. Did that know you guys that much on that? Like, it was a little.
Brian goes nuts with that.
I hate it so much.
Oh,
He
it's really
trained
bad.
them. That's why it worked.
Don't
But
give
everybody-
that.
Okay, so freaking Grant can go and do that now, and
He
never
didn't
did
train
anything?
them.
But he did it in
But
the
he
movie.
did.
And
did
he's
it.
scared of them. He's scared of them. It's just like freaking cats and dogs. You got to freaking train them. If they're scared of you and you're scared of them, then you're gonna clash and they're gonna kill you and you're gonna run, and like that's just how it works.
That's not transitive to like other dinosaurs that weren't trained.
Exactly.
Nobody's gonna fucking know. How about that? They're
It's a
all
fucking
dead. We're
movie.
never gonna know.
Actually, I'm hearing that there's an island that they might have found
Yeah,
dinosaurs.
BS.
Well, I
found,
hope
like,
they-
what,
I hope they don't
5,000
get left
islands
on
or
the
something?
dock while there's lava coming.
Oh,
Fuck
God,
you,
no.
Patrick. All right. So, what did I want to be when I grew up? To save all the baby dinosaurs. When I was really young, it was a handful of things. So I was very much into the music stuff, like the Britney Spears, Christina, Backstreet Boys kind of stuff. And I was like, I'm going to be one of them when I grow up. So I was like, I'm going to be a performer and dancer. I wanted to be a backup dancer. Then I wanted to be a singer. And it was all that just Hollywood crap. That was a big passion when I was really young. And then after that, it was, I wanted to be a teacher. And then after that, I wanted to just get into dance. I was really into dance. And then I was also still wanting to be a singer. So something to do with music. And then that went away. And then when I got into high school, I had zero, like, I had no idea. I had the panic of, they kind of shove it down your throat. What do you want to be? When you grow up, you got to figure it out so you can go to college right after high school. I had no idea. My career landed in my lap. Honestly, it was more like they said senior year, they come up to you, like colleges from around the area. They come into classrooms and do like career day kind of thing. And they all make you fill out like this little form that says, hey, what's your name and your phone number? And we'll call you for a tour sometime. And I had zero interest about anything. And this college that I went to called me up and said, hey, we got this little notepad thing here with your name on it. Would you like to come and visit? And I was like, honestly, I don't know what I want to do. And they're like, you get out of school for a day. And I'm like, okay, sign me up. No joke. That's how it was. I mean, my mom took me there, dropped me off, and they said, hey, do you want to do anything with business? And I was like, no, not at all. And they said, are you artistic? And I can draw stick figures. So I said, no. They said, do you want to, I think there was like a human nursing program or something there. And I was like, that doesn't sound right. And they're like, do you like animals? And I'm like, well, I have like 7 cats right now. And they're like, all right, we're just going to skip the whole right side of the school and take you to the left. And then that's where I figured out my career, which I work with animals now. And it literally just fell in my lap just like that. And the rest is
You had no
history.
idea the position existed.
Yeah, I had no idea anything about the career that I'm currently in now. And you know what? It's been long enough. I might as well just tell everybody I am a veterinary technician.
Fun fact, Alyx and I actually went to the same college.
We actually did go to the same college.
Oh, really?
Yes. Yeah.
But I didn't meet her until after I had graduated. And I don't think she was going yet because I graduated in 07 and
I started July of 07.
I graduated in March of 07 and she started in July of 07.
It was yes, you probably it was right after.
So you were traveling from Bluffton to there?
Yeah. I commuted 5 days a week, an hour each way to go to college.
Oh my God, I had no idea.
Yeah.
There was actually girls in my class that commuted from Michigan.
That sounds like the time that it takes us to get to work every day.
Yeah.
The thing is, though, you guys are going like 5 miles, right? Yeah. Like you're not going too far, right?
No. Yeah, we're going some of those 10 to 15 minutes away.
But it takes about an hour.
It takes an hour.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of funny. That's like Brian and I. We went to Hayward High at the exact same time for 2 years, but didn't know each other.
Yeah, never ran into each other. And then he happens to find my cousin somewhere that didn't even go to the same high school.
Yeah.
Wow.
The funny story that I've never shared before, so this will be a first time.
Oh, here we go.
Is how I got into the profession and knew was the day that I toured the school. She took me up to the animal nursing side. And I really had no passion to go to college. Like it was more like I thought I was just going to go in the Army. To be honest, I was like, you know what? I'll keep in shape and I'll get money for school for later. Like that was just kind of my backup. And the thing that got me, because I had no idea what the profession was at all. I just knew I didn't want to go to school for 8 years to be a vet. And they pulled me into a classroom. They said, Alyx, just, I can crack the door open. You can stand in there for a few minutes. The girls are taking a test right now. Just be really quiet, but I just want you to observe like what they're doing. I'm like, okay. So get into the room and look, and there's dogs laying all over the floor and cats. Somebody had like a cat in their lap and somebody else had a bird on their shoulder. I'm like, they're taking a test? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, are you saying I can go to college and I can just sit with a cat in my lap and take my test? Really? This is a thing? And I was like, I don't even care what this is. This is definitely where I'm going to school.
That's not the profession.
And that's not the profession. It's not puppies and kitties whatsoever. But I just ended up being a natural at my job, so it literally fell in.
It definitely would make going to school a lot easier.
Oh yeah.
I mean, with all the shit that you learn, I mean, it really helps with the stress of it.
Oh, she had an accelerated program.
Yeah. It was definitely like a 4-year program thrown into less than 2 years. So
I will say mine was too for my college, which I guess I can move into.
Yep, your turn.
So when I first started wanting to figure out what I wanted to do as a career, my brother and I, we were playing Legos all the time. And so I was always a cop. So I wanted to be a police officer for a very long time. And then it was a movie star or movie director. I was really into the movie business. I was actually doing stop motion for a period of
with
time.
your Legos?
When I met Alyx, I was doing stop motion animation. I don't know where those tapes are.
You showed me one of them.
I know, it was actually not bad.
He's not lying. It was pretty
Yeah, for a 14-year-old, 13-year-old doing them. I was really into it, and I thought that was where it was going to be. And then I decided I want to do some kind of animation of some type because I was really into what?
You want to be a singer too?
Well, that was very, very small.
Hey,
that
you were in
didn't
a
look like
band.
you were
I was
trying
in a
to sing,
band.
by the way.
Josh was a singer in a high school rock band.
I was a singer in a high school rock band, and I was also an all-state choir. So for 2 years. So I was actually not bad at singing. So I that was also another thing I could have done.
Did
Some
screamo
type of voice
music.
stuff. What's that?
I said you did some screamo music.
Oh yeah. So me on a mic is pretty natural, or so it feels like. So that was another thing I wanted to do, something a little more into the entertainment business. And then I discovered video games and design, and I was like, I can do that. I can do animation and design. You don't want to do animation and design in video game business. You guys hear all the news, right, of video games. If you have trash video game, you don't have control over that if you're a designer. If you're not an actual storyboard artist or a person that actually does the writing, you're screwed. You're just designing a polygon. For example, this table, you're making it, and you have to make it glossy in some spots and stuff like that. You work really hard on it with scratches and everything, and no one's going to zoom in on that unless they're really interested. Like The Last of Us, you look at all those textures. When we were playing Halo, I was looking at textures and stuff of how people make things now.
That's what I do.
Really
all because of him now. When we play video games, I'm like, Josh, you see these textures?
Yeah. So that's stuff that I was really into doing, and then I just discovered graphic design because that was my passion. Now it's just making everything in design. So that's what a graphic designer is a jack of all trades. So. And it kind of is. It becomes that way.
But it shows with both you guys with the performing and the singing, because I know you Twitch. You guys both on Twitch doing that performing.
Yeah.
And then I know how much you guys love karaoke.
Oh yeah, and you too, man.
Well, I'm always down to sing some Weird Al. So.
Yeah. You know, I'm just getting a Weird Al.
And then Brian was in a band.
Yeah, for a while.
Oh yeah, I actually watched a video that you had.
The
posted.
intro music to the podcast was from my band.
Yeah.
You actually performed though. I never got to that level with my band.
Yeah,
so that's actually awesome.
We just never recorded, and that's where I'm like upset about that because I just wanted to do one. I recorded with one band, and we just never put the stuff out because we were trying to do it all independently, and it just wasn't sounding that the mix wasn't very good. And then with this one, all the times I tried to get them, let's go, they're always like, oh, it costs too much. And it's this. I'm like, I know it cost quite a bit, but this is part of the hobby, and there are places where you can do it.
You got to dip your toes.
Yeah, we can do it cheaper than what you're trying to. Like, he wanted to go full professional, like, thousands of dollars per track. And I'm like, there's a place here in, over in Concord, they'll record you for $100 a track. Like, that's not that bad, with a producer and sitting you down, and they would never do it. Oh, it's just not good. I'm like, but we're just trying to make like demos. We're not trying to do like a full produced album, and then we can pass out the demos to people, and then maybe you find somebody that wants to record you after you're done. But
that's how one of my favorite bands got started.
Yep. Yeah. It always amazes me that the people that are the poorest can produce the most amount of music. And the people that
I feel like they got to try harder because they don't have it just handed to them.
And
so their passion goes into it.
That's where their money goes. Their money goes right into the passion. I know a bunch of people around here that, one guy that was surfing from couch to couch, but he managed to produce 3 albums in 2 years. So it's like one of those things, that goes on. And that was always my argument. It's just like, we can do it. Maybe it won't be up to what you want, and I know artists in general, like even us doing this podcast, you guys as well, Josh probably especially with his design, nothing's ever perfect and never will be perfect and never will be good enough. But you got to put it out there. You got to just do it.
Yep. You got to do it because if you don't, then it doesn't exist.
Exactly.
That's how I designed Alyx's stuff. Like, oh my gosh, how many iterations did that go through your logo?
I've always told you it's perfect. No,
it's not good enough. Still isn't.
It's not perfect.
Just a quick update. It's about to be halftime, and it's tied 3-3.
Yes.
Ooh,
this has been your Battlehawks update.
Yeah,
This is maybe a
Battlehawks.
Renegades update. Thank
Battlehawks
you.
versus Renegades, so it's like Brian and me versus Patrick right
Yes.
now. I mean, Alex, I don't know if you're really rooting for anybody in the XFL.
I mean, I really like the
You like
Battlehawks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you do? They kind of play like the Vikings, actually.
And that's why, like, they play a lot like the Vikings.
They have a
that's
soft
why.
defense, but a good offense.
Yes.
So,
All right.
at least I saw that with the Commanders.
So, next question: what are your 5 favorite movies?
Oh, Brett, here you go.
Hard
You know, I
list
don't
for
know
that
if I
one.
could pick if I
And
could
you don't
pick
have to
five
pick 5.
specific movies, but my favorite movie, that's not a question. That's The Punisher from 2003, I believe.
Thomas
3 or
Jane?
4.
4, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah.
As far as so movies that I could always watch, always love, I wouldn't pick any one specific Back to the Future movie, but that trilogy is going to be one.
That's basically one
Um,
movie. If you think
yeah,
about it,
I mean,
it's
it
all
very
in
well
one
could be,
chain.
Sure.
Yeah.
I do really like Con Air and The Rock. That always pops in my head when something like this comes up. Casino Royale from 2005 with Daniel Craig. I freaking love that one. But those are some of the things that if I see them on, I will watch them. If I'm channel surfing and it's on, I'm like, okay, that's where I'm going to land and stop right now.
Yeah. Brett, the
Awesome.
ones that I knew you're gonna choose like 3 of those. So I was like, I gotta make sure that I don't choose ones that Brett, because I know that Brett and I can have the similar list with action movies.
Very
like
much
that.
so, especially from the 90s.
Nicolas Cage in the 90s. He had
Gone in
quite
60
a number.
seconds. We'll put that as my
Yeah.
number 5. You know,
You're
I
also
love
a
that
Fast
movie.
and Furious kind of guy.
I am, but I don't love them.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think anybody really loves them unless
oh.
they're really about family.
But what
we know
about-
a couple people that really love them?
But what about family?
family?
You know, it's funny because they go with the newest one. A lot of people like Fast X, and the director came out and said, "No, it's Fast 10 because it's a play on words. If you think about it, and you say it fast enough."
Fasten.
Yes,
Okay.
that's the
What?
joke. It's a joke for the title. That's why he does Fast 10.
Okay.
Ha
Ha
ha.
ha. For me, it's gonna be like, this was kind of a hard question, just
always
because
is with
the older
five.
you get, the harder I feel like it is to answer this, just because there's the movies that made you kind of thing, and then the movies that you're currently into. And more like the movies that made me are gonna be like, I grew up hardcore into like original Disney movies, not the
Thank
shit
you.
that's going on right now.
Thank you.
I really don't like a lot of like the new adaptations, like the live action, this and that of all the movies that I grew up on. I'm very much into like the original Disney movies. My favorite being The Little Mermaid. And then, so I mean, that's young Alex. And then if you're talking like the movies that I could throw in, or like Brett said, channel surfing, Independence Day is going to be on there. Liar Liar is going to be on there. I just think of like just movies that I can quote from start to finish. Really anything with Jim Carrey. Like 90s Jim Carrey, any comedies. So Dumb and Dumber is going to be on there. Ace Ventura, all that kind of, like anything with Jim Carrey is going to be on there for favorite movies. And then getting into like high school and things like that. We watched a lot of like
We did a lot of horror
action
movies.
and horror movies, but nothing like that like was, oh my god, I love this movie. So
I can answer one for you.
what?
Bohemian Rhapsody.
Oh, Bohemian Rhapsody. I mean, I really like anything to do with music and following an artist that I like. So yeah, Bohemian Rhapsody was one of my favorites. Actually, surprisingly,
yeah.
that's always going to be up there as far as one of my favorite horror movies. The one that came out in like
Part
what?
1.
2017.
Part 1. Yeah, 2017. It was extremely surprising. I sat down and Brett and I both were like, I can't believe we're about to watch this movie. Like I didn't want to. I was scared, and I ended up absolutely loving the movie. So it's going to be on there. And then recently I'm super into John Wick. I love everything about Keanu Reeves. Constantine is also on there. I love that movie. So, but
Keanu.
yeah, anything Keanu, Matrix. Yeah.
You didn't even I had to talk you into watching the John Wick, didn't I?
Yes, you did actually.
I watched it.
Or actually, no, Josh actually.
You probably said we should, and
Yeah,
I was like, I watched.
he might
it with
have told
Quentin,
Josh,
actually.
but
Okay.
So Quentin and I were at work, this is a funny story. I never told this. So Quentin and I, along with one of our coworkers, was just like, we were doing absolutely nothing. Turned the lights off at work, turned on John Wick, and just sat back and watched it for 2 hours.
But yeah, Josh had watched John Wick already, and then he was like, "Hey, you should really watch. There's only one scene you're not gonna like, and I'll tell you when it's coming up." And that was like the first part with the puppy. Yeah. But really, other than that, like how he basically gets redemption for the puppy, I'm like, I'm sold. Like, somebody kills my dog and goes off on a killing rampage. Yep, all right, I'm sold. That's hot.
So for my 5, I had to make sure I put Spider-Man on there, Tobey Maguire at least. So I'm gonna go with 2 out of all of them, even though the first one is very near and dear to mine and Alex's heart because that's our first date. Unintentional.
Whatever.
She says whatever, but for me, I didn't know the time she was going. Without interrupting me, don't interrupt. I didn't know the time she was going. I knew she was going to the movie, but I didn't know which one. I didn't know when. I didn't know the theater either. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to pick a time and go with my dad. And just so happened to be the same theater, same time. It was fate. Bullshit. I did not know the time. How could I know?
We literally got off the phone, and 30 minutes later, we were at the same theater watching the same
No. There was actually a little bit longer than that because my dad and I went to Burger King first. So I had plenty of time. We went and got the tickets because we thought they'd be sold out. So,
okay,
haha. It was all unintentional, and it just so happened to be.
He wanted it his way, and he got it.
Yeah. I had to make sure I added Bruce Willis into this, so Die Hard.
Yeah.
Fifth Element is really close. So I'm gonna. It's a really big toss up on those two because those are my 2 favorite Bruce Willis films. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind is on my list because this is a Jim Carrey rom-com, I guess.
I'd say it's more of a drama.
Yeah,
just a drama.
Rom-com drama.
Yeah, rom-com drama. And it really actually brought me and Alyx back together because Alyx and I were actually on an 8-month break, and I watched this movie, and it kind of made me think about, things that you don't want to forget, which is a great message for that movie. Toy Story 3. Grew up with Toy Story, and the third one was literally the most emotional wreck I've ever been in. I've never cried to animation, and that one was like twice I thought that the toys were doomed, and it was such an amazing animation and everything. And then one comedy I got to put on here, There's Something About Mary. This one is literally my go-to. I own the 2-disc special edition DVD. I'm so happy to own it. I've introduced Brett to this one before the movie club, and it's my go-to Ben Stiller film.
That's a good one.
Yep.
Yeah, it is.
All right. So what was your first job?
So my first official job was a cart pusher at Walmart. It was basically just I needed a job, and the store had just opened.
Was that before they changed the name to Stockman?
What do you mean?
Were you called a Stockman?
Yeah,
that's
the
title.
Official job title.
I know they were changing a lot of titles for a while.
Yeah, that's what it was, and I mean it was an easy job. It just go out to the parking lot and pull carts back up to the building and help people out if they needed help putting stuff in their car, and that was it. It was a super easy job, and in the summer it's really fun because you just stay out in the parking lot, and when you see nice cars you get to look at them, and same thing for when you see girls. So
back when you're a teenager,
fun easy job as a 17-year-old.
A little creepy as like a 60-year-old.
Yeah.
Hey, little lady, can I help you with your cars?
Oh, I'm too old. I dropped that one on the bottom. Can you pick it up for me?
My God.
I can't bend like I used to, except for when it counts.
Oh, babe.
Wow, guys. Mine is gonna be. I mean, my first unofficial job was I was a babysitter, so typical. Like,
but you got paid well.
I did. I got paid more than more than minimum wage to do it. I had just picked the right family to babysit for.
Yeah.
Paid for my phone bills and my plane tickets to go see my boyfriend. So
you did. No joke.
No joke. And I went at the end of the night when the kid was already either sleeping or it was more like I was house sitting, to be honest. That I had a full jacuzzi and a pool and cable and free long distance and internet that was DSL back in the day. So I was like just kind of living the teenage dream then. But yeah, so that was my first unofficial job. But my first official job was I was a busser at a Mexican food restaurant.
which just closed.
Which actually, yeah, Bittersweet
Mm.
just a few months ago just closed down.
Which honestly, it wasn't very good.
it was
Back
at the
in
time.
the day,
It
Back
was
back
at the
in
time.
the day, there was like 2 to 3 hour waits, and people would wait.
True, that's true.
Sounds
They
like
had the
Don
greatest-
Jose.
I was
This is
just
salsa.
about to say that too.
We have one here in town called Don Jose's. It used to have the best salsa, and the
Yeah.
Yep.
food was really good.
People would
And
come and just order the chips.
The
and
recipe
salsa.
changed or something. I don't
It
know
was
what they
back
did.
in like 2007 or 8. They completely got like new ownership. They changed the recipe, and then everything kind
they
of
want to
tanked.
go all fresco and
That-
like
Yeah.
fresh
Yeah,
stuff.
that place
didn't
was
work.
my go-to date place.
It was great.
I probably
for-
took about 4 different girls there on dates.
Did they close down too or something?
No,
or
They're
they
still
just-
here.
Unfortunately, they're still around
I-
because it's horrible.
Well, I think it's because
Unfortunately.
people like my parents like to keep this place in business
Ugh.
for some reason. I don't know why they like
The
going
last
there,
time
but-
I went there, well, okay, the second to last time I went there, I hadn't been there in years. Went back, and the salsa tasted like tomato
But
paste.
tomatoes, yeah.
That's what it
And-
tastes like for.
That's what it
where
tastes
we're-
like
And
now.
Yeah.
The only reason why the last time I went there was my sister wanted to go there for her birthday for some reason, and the food was horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh my
they
gosh.
pretty much only the bean dip and the margaritas are the only things that you can really get there.
Okay.
Can't
It's
go
hard
wrong with
to-
a margarita.
I love bean dip. Alex does not care
It's-
for it.
I don't
About
like
to
beans.
say it's hard to screw up bean dip, but you can. Though my favorite Mexican place around here closed many years ago. And
No.
my cousin knows of it. It was called Acapulco.
I've been there once with you guys,
and
or with
Maybe with my,
yeah.
uncle and stuff.
Holy frijoles.
Oh, man, that place was so good, but the family didn't want to like run it anymore. And
What is bean dip? God damn it, Arrow! I had you up here, and you're back down here.
What?
how do you not know
Oh,
what bean
Mr.
dip
New
is?
Jersey over here.
Refried beans, man.
Yeah.
Usually with like sour cream in there and a couple little
Nice,
extra
yeah.
things, or
Or
like they put
chives.
like chili
Top it with
verde
mu-
gets mixed
Top it with
it.
cheese.
Yeah,
Sometimes.
delicious. So what do you
Joshua.
dip chips in?
Go to the freaking chip aisle. There'll be Fritos, and there'll be a little thing that has the Frito logo that says bean dip on it. Buy it. Put
Oh yeah,
chip
totally
in,
go get the
eat.
Frito
Yeah, but don't
bean
get.
dip for
No,
your
I would not
first
get
time.
the. Yeah, do not
Well,
get
I'm
the
just
Frito bean
saying,
dip.
like,
for
how
your
did you
first
never
time.
see that?
Please do not.
Better one.
Readily
Go-
available.
You're in Jersey. There's got to be some good Mexican restaurants over there, or
Oh, I'm sure.
relatively
Mhm.
close. Get bean dip when you go there. Take your bay after you get that number.
Get that number.
So I've never had bean dip. Want to go try it?
Refried beans and bean dip are two different things.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
are.
it is.
Yeah, I know. But I was saying I'll eat either one. My first job was I had a summer job. I worked in an electrician place. I got a nice tan. I was out on grain bins up like 80 feet in the air for a while. But I actually had a grocery job for a while where I was only making $5.15 an hour. So and that was like a little grocery store called Don's Food Center.
Just
Mhm.
stocking shelves.
I was doing everything.
Yeah, everything.
I
I mean,
was everything.
he was in that little
Right.
700 population towns. I mean, he did everything. What'd you get? Like 2 customers a day?
Oh, we had busy night. We had busy.
Oh,
times.
you're
Oh, what
busy.
was the
Have, like, a
busy?
line of
Like
10.
5?
Oh, when the whole town
Line of 10
comes
going
in?
to the last aisle.
Oh, line of 10. Okay.
I remember those nights.
Yeah, but you got to remember that's half the town that was there.
Right.
They took a lot of food out of that store.
About to say, when those kegers were going on, everybody was down the.
we
personal
actually
contraceptive
had
aisle.
keggers. Yeah, we did.
Okay.
High schoolers would be like, "Oh, it's time for the senior kegger." That's a thing.
It's hey, we're out in the middle of nowhere. Yeah.
So
All right. Well, if you guys could live anywhere, any place, where would it be and why?
Not Fort Wayne.
My
I think
first
all the
thought
people say
is
that.
is probably somewhere warm, but in reality now it's probably eventually going to be Florida because of my girlfriend. She wants to move back someday, so probably we'll end up there at some point, and I'm fine with that.
I don't think anybody's not fine with Florida, to be honest.
Well,
If you're
no,
from Fort
just-
Wayne.
Brett, just don't become one of those "a man from Florida" stories if you do move.
oh,
sure.
please don't.
Sure, no problem.
I'm gonna agree. Not Florida, so I'm not necessarily much for the humidity. I would probably, if money wasn't a thing, I don't even think I would live in this country anymore.
I'm down for that.
I would probably go to like New Zealand or something,
Mhm.
like something really pretty.
Yeah.
But if I were to pick something here, I would say like Colorado or Colorado. I don't really. We haven't really traveled a whole lot around the country, and the one place that I've still like I've been to a couple times, and both times I've just stolen my heart with how beautiful it is going to be Colorado, because I mean you get kind of everything out there.
Yeah, I'm with that. I can just say ditto on that for the
Yeah,
answer.
it's so nice out there.
Yeah.
So
Joshua.
you're exactly
That's
the
it.
same as
Oh,
Alex.
oh,
and
you're
Josh.
the
Exact
same thing.
answer.
Oh,
Yeah.
high five,
Yeah,
bro.
Yeah.
I'm just
I don't have anything against that. Yeah.
It's just super ridiculously expensive.
It'd be nice to be
so-
near a lake.
Hey, we can move to Colorado
So,
Springs.
Yeah, I mean, there's like good lakes
Yeah,
to be on.
we can live
like,
near Springs. It's fine.
Yeah, I'd like to do that. I like either lakes or being on the beach of some kind. So
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
Given the choice of anyone in the world, whom would you want to have as a dinner guest?
Live or dead.
Live or dead? Yeah, we'll
Ooh.
make that
So-
caveat.
This could change depending on anything, but right now, or when I read this the first time, I thought I would really like to just have a conversation with Dwayne Johnson. And the reason why is because I want to find out if his public persona is really him, or if that's his public persona. Like, is he
Mhm.
really who we see? And then just ask him, about his success, and his kind of credo or whatever is always be the hardest working person in the room. And it shows with all of his successes, but he doesn't do it alone. So I want to just, just curious about, how he got to where he was, and if there's anything that happened that we don't know about in the public, and just kind of hear what he has to say.
Nice.
Cool.
Mine would be. I mean, it's almost a given if you know who I am. Mine would be Chester Bennington
yeah,
from Lincoln Park.
there you go.
So, I mean, unfortunately, that could never happen. But but if it live or dead, you say so.
Yeah.
Many different reasons and many different conversations would be had. He basically has just like himself from 2002 to 2017 basically been my guardian angel. So there's a lot I could get into with that, but that's 100%. Like, I can't even think of anybody else. I can't. Like,
if it was alive, it'd be Mike Shinoda, wouldn't it?
actually, no. I never really like it.
That wasn't your connection.
I would never had a connection with Mike. Like, I enjoy all of his stuff and them as a band together, obviously, but like Mike he's got his own stuff, and Chester
He's
had
just a
his
different
own
person
stuff, and they
entirely.
came together and they made some amazing stuff. But
Nope.
it was really just Chester's life and my life and things that related. Like,
Did you like the song in Scream 6?
I mean, yes. I waited until like the end of the movie to
Did you guys wait to
hear
the end of the
it.
credits?
Yeah.
I love that end scene was
Yes,
great.
the end scene was funny. I like it, but it doesn't hit me as hard. Not even as
Lost was a great
yeah.
one,
The new
wasn't
song
it?
that they just released, that was a hidden gem from back when they released Meteora. Lost, which is like apparently on like #1 everywhere. Like, that kind of hit everything, and I can have that play all day, every day if I could. So.
All right, for me, I'd actually thought about this for a minute. I was thinking of Mike Shinoda of Linkin Park because of his art and artistic abilities and everything that he's done. But I'd actually like to sit down with Tim the Tatman. Now, for
He'd be
people
fun,
people who
actually.
don't know who this guy is, he is a streamer who's been doing it for he's probably on like 7 or 8 years, maybe. Whenever Twitch was Justin.tv. So that's before Twitch was Twitch.tv.
That's a
so
long
he was
time
actually
ago.
Yeah.
long time ago. He was a beginning streamer back then, and he started on Call of Duty, and he was really big on that. And then he's moved around and done Overwatch and all that kind of good stuff. But he grew. I saw him grow pretty big on his like 4th or 5th year, and he grew exponentially to the point where now he is moved to YouTube, and he still gets up to about 50,000 daily viewers on his standard streams. He has his own gaming company called Complexity. He's actually he's good friends with the Dallas Cowboys. So somehow he's got affiliations with Chipotle. I mean, he's definitely grown as a streamer with all of his affiliations and stuff. So I was like, I'd like to sit down with him.
He's a
and
really good role model.
learn his journey, his
Yeah.
struggles, things that are behind the scenes that I actually don't know. That's what I'd love to know.
He's
because-
also like our age, and
Yeah.
when he just sits there in IRL and talks, we're like, dude, we could totally just sit down and hang out with this
he
guy.
does an hour-long podcast before he does any video games. He does just his own chatting every single day that he's on. He talks for a while for the most part, unless he has like a prior engagement.
Well, I would say with
it's
him
awesome.
too, he doesn't really have like any big like pieces of drama that you ever hear about the guy. Like that's
I feel like he
No.
tries to stay away from it.
He's really good
he
at staying away
does,
from
and it's one of those things. There are certain streamers out there. Some people get pulled into this stuff, and other people like you never hear anything
Oh my
about.
gosh,
and
yeah.
those are those are like the genuine ones. I think that you can kind of follow. You know, not like
Right.
like Dr. Disrespect right now going through all of his stuff with his gaming
He's
company
tough.
that's coming up.
Yeah, but I mean,
Like,
with a
he's
name like that, you're
entertaining.
gonna get drama.
But yeah, he's got and that NFT stuff that he's trying to do is just so ridiculous.
Sorry, Ito
What-
just
what's up?
put. Hey Arrow, PTO versus It Be Like That podcast in their prime in a hell of a cell match.
This thing is like we don't really know when our prime was or if we're in our prime
Yeah,
now,
who knows
so-
when they're actually in.
We
Yeah,
really
when,
don't
when
know.
was our prime?
You guys could be in it now.
Yeah, we could both be in it
We
now.
could be
We
in
don't
the
even
prime
know.
now.
Time
Yeah.
for some fisticuffs.
Don't even know.
All right.
Yeah.
So if you were able to live to the age of 90 and retain either the mind or the body of a 30-year-old for the last 60 years of your life, which would you want?
Got to keep the physical, right, Brett? I mean, you're feeling it
Well,
now.
No, I think I'd go with mind because to stay sharp for that long, and hopefully you learn from the mistakes that you make from all that time. And if it's 60 years from now, we'll say, or 7 years ago when I was 30, I might be able to transfer my mind into something mechanical and not have to worry about a failing body. So depending on what technology allows. So yeah,
I don't think you're
I'd
far
rather
off.
avoid
No.
I would rather avoid dementia and severe memory loss and stuff like that, and not know who I am.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you might have actually just answered that for me then. I didn't think about
Mine
that.
was more about along the physicality because
was-
if
I
you
was
can
going
keep your
for the
body
physical.
moving, like I think that changes a lot of your
But you also see like
mentality.
these, 70, 80, 90-year-olds that keep up with that kind of shit, and they're moving better than you and me right now.
Oh my god, yeah. I can barely get off the couch. these
So I know
days.
I'm going to agree with Brett, honestly. I think
The mind's got to stay sharp. But
I
the-
think your mind, like,
but-
if you don't have your mind, what you think you don't have your body?
I mean, none of us have.
your
I mean,
mind
you have
controls
a-
your body.
Both of you have physical jobs, so like
Yeah. But
Takes a
I
toll.
go with
I
Brett.
have
Like
a desk
I don't
job,
want to.
like Brian. We don't really.
I
Yeah,
don't want to
I'm
lose
like
my
50-50.
mind.
Like desk
I'd much
job,
rather
and then I
keep my
got
mind.
inventory stuff that I do. So I work at a little bit of warehouse stuff, just because
Yeah.
I always feel like if I can't do it, I can't expect my guys to be able to do it either. Right?
100%.
Well, like they
Right.
said, lead by example.
Exactly.
right?
Exactly.
Mhm.
I agree.
All right.
So, yeah,
so
you guys got our answer quick.
yeah, that good because we're running long. So if you
Yeah,
could
we
wake
are.
up tomorrow, either gained or having gained any one quality or ability, what would it be?
Oh boy. I guess I would be more interested in ability than quality, but I think it would be the ability to learn complex things better than I can now. Maybe it's just because I'm older and it's harder for me to learn, but just to be able to pick up something, like if I don't understand, go read about it and be able to understand it, right
That's a good
after
one.
reading.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Mm.
Alex.
It's a hard one. Can I just like take away instead of adding? Honestly, if I could be who I was right now and not have all of the mental issues that I have, I feel like I would have like such an amazing life right now.
So the ability
Um,
to have a clear
cope.
Mental
thought.
clarity.
Yeah,
mental clarity. There you go. Just 100% like live life with full happiness.
Yeah.
The ability
Not
to
have
take
any
away,
dark clouds sitting up there would be amazing.
So the ability to take away all of Arrow's gifted subs that he's got.
The ability to make Arrow sub.
And get the
With
number.
That's a good one.
No, I guess like real like ability wise, I feel like what would really help me in my career would be just talking to animals.
Oh yeah.
Be able to talk to any animal.
Hmm.
Them be able to tell me, hey, this is what hurts. This is what, because I feel like my job is people just request that we have this magic wand and we wave it over and we have to figure out what's wrong with it and we already know how to fix it. And it's a lot more complex than that.
Mine would be no creative blocks. as far as zero procrastination, no depression, and solid concentration. That's really hard for me. Procrastination and depression lags my creativity so much. And that there's times when I just can't do anything. There's times I can't even pick up a pen and write anything, and have any creative level
I
at
feel
all.
like it's very common
It's
with
hard.
artists. Like
It can
you
happen.
really need to have your mind clear and
Yeah.
focused.
Yeah. So that's one.
All right. So, what is the greatest accomplishment of your life, or what do you believe to be?
Well, I've had some professional accomplishments that I've been pretty proud of, but I think at this point in my life, there's the fact that I'm I have a roof over my head. I'm gainfully employed. I don't want for anything. I have the stuff that I need, but I think right as of today, it's finding my girlfriend Ashley.
Aw,
You've
babe.
never really had a whole lot of demands in your life, Brett, except for maybe finding a good significant other is all I've noticed.
Sure. I mean,
Honestly, Brett, I think the whole time we've known you,
Because every
that's
time you've been able to
literally
get your own
been-
thing, you're like,
yeah.
I'll work for it, whatever. I
Yeah.
don't care. But
I
you
think-
have to.
I
Working
think
for a
that's-
relationship is difficult.
Yes, it is.
It's not easy.
That's a very true to heart answer.
I mean, I could.
I'm gonna go off
Yeah.
with that, and I mean, Brett kind of stole my answer, but I was gonna say my relationship
Oh yeah,
because I mean, like, I don't think we think about it
we don't
at all. Like, we don't see.
take it for granted.
We take it for granted quite a
Absolutely.
bit.
Oh, yeah.
Like we've known each other for so long. I mean, I'm 34 and he's 35, and we've been together for 20 years. So put the math together on that. We've been dating and together
All
as
of our
a
adult life.
couple since we were 13 and 14 years old. So I mean, we pubertyarized together. We hormonalized together.
Yeah, we
So-
did.
I
Go
didn't
on.
know puberty arise.
we went through puberty together. I tried
Every
to, I tried
first.
to
Is that a
keep it-
millennial
Every
slang?
first was with us.
Yes, that's
with each
millennial
other.
Yeah,
slang.
like we Josh and I have experienced our first everything basically together. So, and we've been through a lot of ups, a lot of downs, and what life's thrown at us, and we're still here. And until somebody asks, like, how'd you guys meet? And I start telling the story and where we're at now, and I'm like, it always makes me go, oh my God, wow, we've been together for 20 years. And we're only in our 30s. That's usually the big thing is people like, oh my God, and we went through four.
your mid 30s.
Yeah, your mid 30s. Half. No, not mid 30s, Brett. I'm in my early 30s. 34. I'm in my early 30s. 35 is mid. Josh, you're in your mid 30s.
I'm mid.
Josh, you're mid. That's what I would say. 100%. I would just say that's my greatest accomplishment.
I guess all of us are going to piggyback along relationships because
no, go out on your own, Josh.
mine's a little broader as well, but it goes like maintaining a healthy relationship while rekindling my love for animals because when we lost both my cat and my dog over the past 2 years, it's been like that was a journey for me and a lot of levels of depression and everything and what I went through. But I can't thank enough for everybody who's been there for us that when we went through those problems and issues, and it really helped us when people were there for us, especially you guys too. You guys been there through it,
Mhm.
so really thank you for that. For that, we had a lot of ups and downs with that, and now that we have Pixel, it's been a whole new level of love.
Mhm.
So I'm obsessed with him.
He's obsessed with you.
Yeah.
All right. So this is we're not there yet. To one of the hard ones. But what is your most treasured memory?
Oh boy. Oh man. I don't know. One thing that I'm particularly proud of, I guess you could call it a memory, is I just walked in. So when I moved from Bluffton to Fort Wayne, I basically went in, asked for an interview at the news store, got the interview on the spot, and then got that job on the spot. And I was full of myself right when that happened. I'll never forget that. I just felt pretty good that, I was able to make an impression in front of these people that had never met me before. And even though the position was pretty insignificant, just the ability to do that, I think was pretty cool.
Laura was awesome.
Yeah.
I
she was
loved
good.
her. That was our manager for the department that hired him in and me. Alex.
That's my greatest accomplishment.
No.
What?
You're
Most
Fondest
treasured
memory.
memory.
Oh, treasured memory. Sorry, I was kind of mixing things up. Most treasured memory. One of them, as soon as you say it, is going to be accidentally meeting Chester Bennington.
that's the greatest accident of our lives.
The greatest accident ever was not supposed to happen.
basically a fan ran down a hill and got a chair sign that was thrown by a band member, Joe Hahn, the DJ of the group.
There's a little
chain link
fence between me and him, and we got a picture and our Hybrid Theory album cover signed. And I mean, the pictures that we got was on my pink Razor flip phone, but hey, I got pictures.
Hey.
And for my favorite memory of all time is going to be he was starting to walk away, and for the first time ever, I was not skinny enough to put my hand through the chain link fence to be like, dude, can you just shake my hand? Because he was going around, people were putting their hands up, and I was too short to put my hand up for him to grab. And I'm like, oh my God, it's my only chance. And he was starting to leave, and as he was leaving, I was like, Chester, can you just touch me? And he turned around and smiled and came back and grabbed my fingers, and I was like, oh God, my heart's pounding out of my chest right now. And I was just like, Josh, I went back on the lawn and recorded our reactions, and he was like, Josh flipped the camera on me. It's like, what just happened? And I was like, I just met Chester. He's like, and I'm like, he touched me. I don't know. It was just, just that connection. Like, hey, he's up there mentally, and being able to just, it's really just, it's really weird to some people to have like a celebrity or just some person that doesn't know who the hell you are have that kind of effect on you. But between that and then for some odd reason, another memory pops up of just me and my grandpa being in a pool together, and him doing like the little Jaws thing coming after me, and he would just chase me around the pool. And that was like probably like 2 years before he died, but that comes into mind. Yeah.
Mine's real simple. It's just me and Alyx on the beach in LA when the sun was setting. We have a photo of it. It was a really nice
that was
time.
a very nice
I'll
time.
never forget that. That is what mesmerized us with California.
That is a different kind of sunset, I tell you that.
Yeah, California sunsets. You guys get some beautiful ones.
Beautiful sunsets.
You guys are lucky. You guys are real lucky.
We're paying for them, but yeah.
Yeah.
Hypodermic needles everywhere. It's so beautiful.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
All right, so this one's probably a tough one, but what's your most terrible memory?
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy. Actually, I remember thinking this when I read the questions and Patrick sent them to me. I remember when my grandma died, I was at work, and it was the grandparent I was closest to. And I remember it was back when I had an old Verizon slide phone, and I always turned it off at work because we didn't get good cell reception. We just drained the battery. So I turned it off. I would turn it on at break to just see if I had a text or anything. And I had a voicemail. It was my mom, and she said, you need to call. And I knew it wasn't good news. So I ran up front and called, and she told me, and I had to go back into the store to tell my manager, and I was sobbing, and they had to leave. And I'll just never forget that. And it was just a terrible, terrible feeling.
Was that the one where I think I was working?
It was a Sunday morning.
Yeah. I think I was working, and you were, I don't know. Yeah, I think you just messaged me.
Yeah, I left. So I had to be walked out by a manager that I had a pretty good relationship with, but it was not good.
Yeah, I remember that.
That's honestly what pops into my head was the first time I lost a grandparent.
Yeah.
So yeah, the day that my grandpa died, which has a pretty significance to like, I feel like my paranormal whatever stuff that I've talked with Patrick before, but
which you guys got to do a crossover.
Yeah, we really do. But I had an absolute shit morning, and I even in this room where I'm laying, I had like a dream basically where an angel came to me and said, hey, tomorrow you're gonna have the worst day of your life, but it's all gonna be okay. And that's really like just the basic way I can say everything happened. And I woke up, and it was February, and it was cold, and I live like a mile down the road from school, but my dad usually drives me to school, and he had already left. I woke up like an hour and a half late or something. My mom was already gone because she was supposed to take my grandpa to he was having some heart issues. So she was taking him to his cardiologist appointment. And I woke up, and I called Josh because we're on a time difference, and I was pissed because I have to walk to school in the snow, and it was freezing, and I was already an hour and a half late. I had a huge test that morning. I kicked a 3-foot hole in the wall right behind Josh.
Yeah, she did.
On like accident purpose. And then I was like, and now I've got a hole in my wall, and now I'm gonna get grounded. And so everything was just going horribly. It was a really bad day at school. Track practice was horrible. And then my dad pulls up and picks me up, and then I realize he's a drywaller and can totally fix the problem. And then everything went fine. And then I got home and I did like the worst thing to my mother. Was my mom's not a huge drinker, and I was laughing because I was like, oh, you guys aren't gonna, you know, you're not gonna realize what I just did. And I spent all day freaking out that you guys are gonna ground me. I accidentally kicked a hole in my wall, kind of thing. And I looked at my mom, and her eyes were like so swollen shut. She looked like somebody like an alcoholic that had been just drinking. And I was like, Mom, are you drunk? Ha ha ha, in her face. And she just started crying and walked away and said, would you please go in the living room? And we all sat down, and that's when they said, hey, when I took your grandpa to his appointment this morning, he had a massive heart attack and died right in front of me. And that was my closest grandparent at the time. Yeah. So, but I got some kind of like relief from the dream that I had, like saying like, oh, you know, everything's going to suck today, but meaning like maybe he's okay. So I don't know, but that was like the one memory that pops up, like the worst day of my life.
Yeah. Okay, so mine is actually a little more storied. Like in 2015, was it 15? My heart stopped.
Okay, sorry, my grandpa was the second worst day of my life. This is actually the worst day of my life.
My heart stopped in 2015 on 4th of July night. The hardest thing about that was relearning how to sleep, because that's basically what I did in my head. So all it was me just passing out in general. So on Alyx's end, it was a whole nother story. We don't have to go into detail, but she brought me back with CPR. And for me, since then, for a long time, lately it's been okay, but it's been relearning to sleep and be okay with it. That's my hardest memory.
Yeah, because you don't know, you have no memory of what happened.
Yeah.
He thought he just fell asleep.
So on
he
my
didn't.
end, it's
he
like,
fucking
is
died.
Is that gonna be it? You know?
Yeah.
So it's really difficult.
Yeah. Well, you know, obviously I tried to block that out of my head for the longest time. So that's why I think grandpa came in, but that's still like, my two worst days of my life.
Deal with heart issues.
Right.
Yeah.
Fucking hearts.
Fucking hearts.
You kind of need them.
Yeah. It's therapeutic though to talk about it.
Those
it really
pieces
helps.
of shit.
Yeah, it does.
I know, right? Man.
Little did we know we need them to live.
Yeah.
All right, so your house containing everything you own catches on fire, and after saving your loved ones and pets, you have time to safely make it out a final dash to save any one item. What would it be and why?
So I don't get real sentimental with stuff like just physical possessions. So if I was going to save anything, it would probably be one or all of my guns, just because they're super expensive. And I've had one of them I've had for 14 years now. So yeah, that would probably be the ones that I would go after.
It's a hard nothing.
Well,
nothing.
The urns?
Nothing.
No.
Mm-mm.
You don't need anything.
I don't need it.
You got the pets. You got you.
I have you, and I have my animals. I don't need anything else. Like, I'm a very like
minimalistic.
Objects are objects, man. Like, I know, like it's you know, in the situation you're going, oh my god, I lost so much shit, but oh my gosh, I lost this. I lost all of my toys. But like things can be replaced.
There's a lot of things you can avoid.
You know, when you're older, it's lives that matter, not things. Damn. So it's really, really easy for me to just say, I'm fine. I don't need to go back in.
No.
Nope.
Your wig collection.
My wigs. No, absolutely nothing.
So does that change though a little more, since we're a little more like in the digital age? Like, it would be something to do, like for me, it was always something to do with my grandmother, because
I would say pictures if I were to say anything, but even so, like
say your Pink Ranger with the photo on it of Chester.
Well, I mean that's digital right now.
That's what I'm saying.
It's on Facebook.
But I'm just saying that there's something that, you know, isn't tangible or
well, I mean, technically, I guess we do have the hybrid theory cover with his autograph on it. So I mean, I'd probably go in if that was like the one.
It wouldn't be on your mind at the time.
It wouldn't. It really
wasn't
wouldn't
until I said something.
I know, but I still like, it's just,
Or
I at least have
Patrick
that
did too.
memory. Like,
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
really need the physical object.
I haven't
like,
looked
I
at
got
I
it
actually
done.
haven't looked at it in forever.
I know.
So
I was
it's
like,
not
think
like
of
I
the
need
things
it
that
in my
you
head.
like. Is there something you go to every single day that you're like, oh my gosh, if there was a fire, I'm totally grabbing that? No, other than you and my pets.
Right.
That's it.
And my response can be actually eliminated by just using the cloud, because mine would be the hard drive of my computer, because it has all of our memories and all of our production. Everything is on it. So and that can be eliminated by putting things up in the cloud and just
I'm
using
very much
that.
a
But I
thing
don't.
is a thing,
Right.
and
I
a
mean,
life is a life.
that's
Once
a
a life is gone, a
boundary.
life is gone.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think that's it. I have anything else.
Yeah.
So
All right.
Yeah.
So last question before we get to our game for the day and then finish the podcast. So if a crystal ball could tell you the truth about yourself, your life, the future, or anything else, what would you want to know? If anything.
I think I'd want to know the state that I am in when I die. Meaning, am I alone? Am I in a hospital? Am I decrepit because I couldn't afford healthcare at my old age? You know, am I way younger than that? Am I in a wealthy state and it's a freak accident? You know, I don't necessarily want to know how I die, just what is my life like at that time?
that's a good one.
That's
That's
good.
deep.
Yeah.
These are deep questions.
It's a deep question.
Am I dying giving subs to Arrow or
I guess I would I'd want to know, geez, that's really difficult. What did I say earlier? If the career that I chose was worth it, or should I have chosen something else just because of the mental and physical toll that it's taken
True.
on me. I'm 30 going on 50 in my body right now. So
Alyx witnesses a lot of trauma.
I witness a lot of bad stuff being in my field. So
yeah, a lot of bloody stuff. a lot
of broken hearts. How about
Yeah,
that?
that
And I have
too.
to be the one firsthand to help take
They're
care
there.
of it. Yeah.
You have to be Sheldon from Big Bang Theory.
Right. No, I'd want to know if this is what I was meant to do with my
put
life.
a hard shell up sometimes, you know.
There's plenty of things in my career that I'm like, oh my gosh, like this is definitely this 100%. This is what I was.
Yeah.
It's worth it. This is what I was supposed to do with my life. I'd want to ask the crystal ball: Is this what it was? Is this what I was supposed to do with my life, or could I have done something better?
Mine is going to be: will I ever witness the Minnesota Vikings winning the Super Bowl
In your lifetime?
in my lifetime? That is a real easy answer question that I could have answered, and it's just yes or no. Just tell me. Do I have to keep my hopes up?
well,
Well,
you
I mean,
have
that
the
makes
eight
me
ball
think of,
over
like,
there.
That makes me think of
The eight ball.
Wayne's World. What is it? Will Garth ever get his Sports Illustrated football phone?
Yes.
I
I
it'll
don't
show
know
up
why, but that's just
tomorrow.
what popped in my head.
So I just
No,
want to
that's-
witness a Super Bowl victory.
That way you can enjoy the football season a lot more, because it's like, oh, they're having a crappy game, but they'll never win it in my lifetime anyway, so whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's fine.
Exactly.
What do they say? The worst thing is for your mental health is loving a sports team.
Yeah.
Right.
The thing is,
Yeah.
I don't think I'd want to know when. I just want to know if I would. That's it. Like, I don't want to know when then, because then that gives away all of the mystery, you know?
That's it.
It's
Because
your 99th year of being alive.
I think that's why.
Vikings.
And then
That's
Josh has a heart attack because they win,
Because
and
of
that's
the
how
Super
he
Bowl.
dies.
That's a good way to go out.
Yeah.
It's a good out.
I think Brett might have it right, because Brett watches football, but he doesn't have a team he roots for. So
Yeah.
whereas the rest of us, but where the
It's
rest
gonna
of us, you mention one thing about our team, and then you're pounding the table with your fist, yelling in the middle of a restaurant like I was last night when people bring up us talking about getting Jimmy Garoppolo. Fuck that.
Fine. He's fine.
He's
all
fine
right.
for 4 games, and then he'll be hurt for the rest of the season, and then we're paying him to sit on the
Oh,
bench.
God. Here we go
No,
again. I
but
had
With
to
your
listen to this for
offensive
20
line for
minutes
the
last
Raiders, though, you'll be okay. We haven't had an NFL chat with
Wasn't,
Patrick.
wasn't Brian just saying something about mental health and
So who do you want, Patrick? Who do you want as a quarterback then for the Raiders? Actually, never asked that.
I wanted Aaron Rodgers, but apparently he wants to ruin his career and go to the Jets.
Yep.
So I don't know. I honestly what I want first of all is to get this shitty coach out. Let's do that first, and then worry about the quarterback.
That'll happen in 2027. So.
Oh
Yeah.
God.
I think it'll happen before that.
That's when they'll be able to
It might be
afford a
another
new
year.
coach.
That's right.
Yeah,
They're still
fire him,
paying
bring back
Chucky.
Gruden. You're paying him anyways. Let's go.
Good luck. Maybe he could be on the sideline of. I don't know.
He'd be coaching from the shadows,
Yeah.
like a
Yeah.
super villain. Just
He
That's
look
yes.
like
Yes.
look like Lord Sidious. Yes, run the ball. Yes,
Do it.
unlimited touchdowns.
Throw to Javante Adams. Do it.
Do it.
Yeah, I could have seen Rodgers as a quarterback, and if we go to the game, and if he does, it would have been the first time I'd see Aaron Rodgers play as see the Vikings versus the Raiders. You know.
I saw
go
him
to
play,
Vegas?
but it was for Cal when he was a Bear.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Local boy.
Yep.
Mhm.
You always wanted to be a Niner too.
Yeah, how many freaking quarterbacks want to go to the 49ers now? I'm hearing everybody is like, oh, you can go to the Niners.
Well,
Everybody.
right now because they're like primed to win another
Primed to win a
Super
Super
Bowl.
Bowl.
But like he was a Bay Area boy, and
Right.
yeah, it's the team he wanted to go
It
play
was,
for.
it was one of those things. Literally, they grew
He had
up
money.
watching the team.
See,
Because
see,
even
when
Tom, again, I have to say this name. Even Tom Brady wanted to be a 49er at some point, and he did try a couple years ago before going to Tampa, but we just they didn't want a flash in the pan type of thing,
No.
which Tampa got. Tampa got the
They did.
flash in the pan year, and then the next 2 years, even though they made the playoffs, they're the worst team in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
So, and also NFC South sucks. So,
we got a
It
game.
does.
We got a game.
Game time.
So we do have a game. So I gotta run this real fast because this is the introduction to the game. And now it's time to play everyone's favorite game: Wrestling Move or Sex Move. That is right. We are playing Wrestling Move or Sex Move.
Sponsored
so-
by the Beaver Clutch.
Sponsored by the Beaver Clutch. So to make it easier on myself and to tell you guys whether you're right or wrong, we're gonna go around the room. I will say what it is. You guys will say sex move, wrestling move, and then I'm going to play a sound, and that's going to determine whether you guys are right or wrong. If it is a wrestling move, you will hear, "Oh my god!"
Good old
And
JR.
if it is a sex move, you will hear, "There you go."
I was gonna get so mad if it was gonna be something about a step, bro.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you should have played Step Bro.
And I
Nope, too
believe me, it did cross my mind, and for specifically because I didn't want to make Alex mad.
You know what?
I
know what
went
you
with the
should've
second
used?
best
Brian.
sound
See,
that
that's why I
there
like
was.
No. What you should have used was Alex going, "Thank you, Daddy."
Or that I thought for sure it was gonna be something like pre-recorded me.
Then I'd have to go back through her VODs, or I have to buy the cue for the whole thing where I can get the stuff
Oh,
from it.
Now,
You know,
wait, I have a
her-
question.
Yes,
I have
sir.
a question. Are we answering individually or as a show?
It is individual.
Okay.
So there's the
Alrighty.
three. You guys are all going against each other. There are no prizes. It's just cred for whoever wins this.
Patrick,
Speaking of
I'm gonna win,
prizes,
by the
I
way.
I
won
was
the
just gonna
IBL
ask.
teaching.
Yes, I still need to pay for that, which somebody
I
needs to split it
I
with
was just
me.
going to
I
ask
will.
about that.
Let me know. I didn't know what I didn't realize he picked something.
No, there's just a
I don't
gift
even
card.
know.
Oh,
Just a gift card. Yeah.
Now he
Send it to
knows.
Alex's email because we
Yeah.
use her Prime.
Send in the gift
I'm gonna
card.
win at this, by the way. Just
slide
saying.
into my DMs.
All right, so there are 16 total. 16 total, and we will as soon as I fucking find a pen, I can write. So I got
Pens are
A.
actually going to become a thing of the last gen here soon. It's not going to be digital.
That is
When's the last
true.
time you held a pencil?
I don't think so. I mean, look at me. I use a pen every day when taking orders.
He does.
Everything's not going to be digital for that.
a lot
stuff
of
like that.
people in construction use pencils, Alex.
Oh, well.
Yeah, it's like the measure twice.
You know,
cut, or-
the prize
or-
you
yeah,
win,
measure twice.
nothing, absolutely nothing. You so stupid. Fucking love UHF. It's my favorite fucking movie.
Alex likes that movie.
I do.
Yeah. Oh, you red snapper. Very nice. All right. So, yeah, I'll say the name of what it is, and then you guys will go around the room. Start with Brett. We'll let Pat be last in the thing. So that way Pat can't see it. It's all here on my phone. And I will, when it is a sex move, I will try to explain it as best I can based upon notes that I've got here. And if it is from a wrestler, I will say wrestler that it's associated with. Doesn't necessarily mean that it's the primary person. It's just what I found online. So, all right. So the first one here is the Canadian Destroyer. Is that a wrestling move or sex move? The Canadian Destroyer.
We'll go with wrestling move.
Wrestling move.
Sex move.
I'm going wrestling move.
That is a wrestling move.
Oh,
Petey
dang.
Williams.
Really?
Yep. That's where it came from. This pen is breaking apart.
I wonder what the move is.
Can you keep score?
Crystal, keep score.
Or chat, keep score because this pen is a piece of shit. And I don't know where the other one is.
All of you guys got it right, but me.
Everybody
so.
but Josh. All right. So
Yep.
number 2, the Deep Dimer. The Deep Dimer.
The deep dimer.
Sex move.
I'm gonna go with sex move.
Sex move.
Wrestling move.
That is a sex move.
Nice.
And that's when a guy pounds his girl with a 10-inch long dick or more. That is the Deep Dimer.
Deep dimer. My God.
All right. This one should be easy for everybody. The last
Hold on.
ride.
I know.
Oh, what?
Arrow, take notes for some of these names.
Yeah. You need these for your moves for when you do it. So the last ride.
Oh, that's
Last
That's
ride. That's
easy.
a wrestling move.
Yeah, wrestling.
move.
wrestling
That's
move.
easy.
Yeah, I got to give you one easy in there. All right.
Everyone loves the Undertaker.
That's right. Deep Six. Deep Six.
Sex move.
Sex.
Sex.
Wrestling.
That is a wrestling move.
Oh,
Baron
nice.
Corbin. Baron Corbin.
Really?
Yes. All right. We got the Wife Beater.
Sex move.
God. Sure, it's sex move.
Yeah. Yeah. We lost Patrick.
We did
The wife beater.
the Wife Beater.
I feel like this is a trick one,
I feel like it is too.
so I'm gonna go wrestling move again.
All right. That is a sex move.
Oh, it is. All right.
So that's when you have anal sex with somebody after they have taken a shit, and then you smear it on her eyes to make her look like she has black eyes.
oh my god.
That is awful.
Does anybody actually perform these? There's
If it
no
exists,
way.
Josh, roll
If you're into
34.
scat,
Rule 34. Yeah, people are into
Exists.
scat. They are into scat. So
Crystal put the donuts.
is that saying that she wants to try the wife beater
Well,
later?
I'm not gonna do it. So
All right. Next one is the crucifix.
Oh.
The crucifix.
Wrestling move.
Wrestling.
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 That's a sex move.
No, whoa.
And there's one that's very similar, but it's not called the crucifix. This is the act of fucking 4 women at the same time using both hands to diddle in your face and your dick.
Wow.
All right, man.
That's
So
a
you are
busy
on
man.
the cross.
I felt like there was a wrestling move that
Oh
was.
man, that
Yeah.
would almost be like dying right there.
Yeah, pretty much.
There is the wait.
There's the
crucifix.
crucifixion. This is the crucifix.
Oh, okay.
I went through. I went. This one I made sure sounded similar. I found this. Okay. All right. The booger toss. The booger toss.
Wrestling move.
I'm gonna say wrestling.
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 That is a sex
Oh.
move.
We
That's-
are failing today.
Damn.
That's doing it doggy style, and you put 2 fingers in your partner's nose, and then you're making boogers fly out every time you thrust. The booger
Look at me.
toss.
That is messed up.
Oh.
It's like Alex hates
I hate
anything
boogers.
with nose. So I'm looking at her like, there's no way in
No,
hell.
hell no, don't even. No.
All right. Do we have scores from chat? Do we have scores
got
from
4.
chat? You
I got
4?
3.
4, 3. I guess everybody
I'm
just.
at 2 or 3. I don't know where
I don't know.
I'm just- I'm
I was
keeping
hoping
track of my
Crystal
hand.
was keeping track since she likes to listen to my voice.
Hey, it's all recorded.
Crystal
We can all
just
go
said.
back and
Crystal
get-
just said sex move.
I know that Alex is in the lead, and
I'm
Brett
keeping
and
my
Alex
fingers
have
off
done
to
the same
side.
boat. So
So, okay. All right. Next one's the money shot. The money shot.
I feel like
Ooh.
it's supposed to be sex move, so I'm going to say wrestling move.
Sex.
sex.
Wrestling move.
Wrestling move.
Really?
Val
Val Venus.
Venus. He's
Val Venus, baby. You need to bring him back.
All right.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do. Hello, ladies.
All right, we got the STF. The STF.
Oh, I think that's an actual wrestling move.
That's wrestling.
Wrestling.
That is wrestling by Lou Thez. All right.
Luthez Press.
So Brett's in the lead.
Yes, Brett
Brett's
has
in the
6.
lead.
I have 5.
I
All
got
right.
5.
And he's got 5. So you're tied with Alex, and Josh is bringing up the rear.
I think I have 4 or 5.
All right. So the stump puller. The stump puller.
Sex.
That's 6.
Sex.
Sex.
That is wrestling move
What?
by Doink
Bullshit,
the
that's
Clown.
definitely
Oh, I
sex.
should have known that.
The Clown. Specifically,
I
picked
Well, I
it-
mean,
know
his
that.
name is Doink, so.
did pick it because of him and
Oh,
my
should have
uncle.
known that. Okay, yeah. Backstory. So Crystal's dad used to tell Crystal and her brothers when they were kids, because they'd see Doink the Clown, that the reason why when he did the whole turn when he was like evil Doink the Clown, he said he worked at Circus and he got fired for yelling at a kid, so that's why he's so mad.
Oh
And they
no!
believed this story for years.
Wow, that's funny.
Oh, Doink
All
the
right.
Clown.
Next, we got the Omaha ham bone. The Omaha ham bone.
Sex.
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 I'm gonna go
Speaking awfully hard.
wrestling.
That is sex
I knew it.
move.
I fucking knew it.
Yay!
That's when you come in a girl's ear and then push her down the stairs.
What the hell? Is
Why are
that the
they
wife
related?
beater?
The
Why,
Omaha
I know,
ham.
right? Why are they related?
the Omaha ham bone.
Oh,
All right.
God.
The power dunk. The power dunk.
Sex.
Wrestling.
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 That is wrestling move. That one is done by John Heidenreich.
Oh, gee,
So
I don't know
Alex
that name
and
at all.
Patrick are
Old,
tied with
old.
Brett, and I'm 1 behind.
All right, we got the Tower of Babylon. The Tower of Babylon.
Wrestling.
Sex.
Wrestling.
I feel like it's too complex for wrestling. I'll say sex.
That is sex move. That's while having a threesome, one guy goes on the other one's shoulders, and the girl has sex with the guy on top while blowing the guy on the bottom.
Alex and Patrick just took the lead
So
together.
I'm pretty sure Quentin has told me about this. Not lying.
Would.
I'm pretty sure that was Quentin.
All right, we got 3 more, and so this is number 14. This is the Dover Dust-Off. The Dover Dust-Off.
Sex.
Wrestling.
Sex.
Sex.
That is a sex move. It's the act of oral stimulation while having one's asshole played with. The Dover
Okay.
Dust-Off. Because everybody loves a finger in the asshole, right? All right.
Got quiet.
Wow.
Patrick's
quiet.
over here like,
Yeah.
He's like, I'm going to get myself a dust over dust off later.
Quentin. Briggs like, the grimace?
The grimace. All right. Hartford hot sauce.
Hartford hot sauce.
Sex.
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 This is going to be some gross ass sex moves involving hot sauce.
It is a sex move, and then it's instead of using lube on the condom, you use hot sauce.
No. Oh my God.
That's a bad idea.
It's a
Does he
triple
jump in and
no.
say, I'm spicy?
You can,
Okay.
you can also use icy hot instead if you prefer.
No.
No.
All right. And the last one is the trip to the Batcave. The trip to the Batcave.
Sex.
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 Trip to the Batcave.
You can keep saying it, but you have to give me an answer.
Once again, it seems too complex to be a wrestling move, but then, fuck it, wrestling move.
It is a wrestling move
Oh my God.
by
Patrick.
Bastion
Patrick
Booger.
won.
One of the worst wrestlers ever, but had the coolest wrestling move.
All right.
Trip
Patrick
to the
wins
Batcave.
by a point.
Patrick keeps his streak alive against guests and wins by a
Damn.
full
Got
point.
close.
Yeah,
Alex
I was
was
one behind.
right there, and Brett had a streak going. I was right behind for just the whole time, just by 1. All good.
I'm
Arrow
surprised
says
the
that he
Indiana
called it.
snowblower didn't make it on there.
Well, yeah,
Indiana
but I would
That's-
snowblower.
I would have
That's
had to
not
have
even-
made it up.
Yeah, Alex has been making it up on the spot since day one.
Yeah. I still don't even know what it is.
We haven't made up an official definition. We have to
There's
put it
an
on
official-
we have to send it into Urban Dictionary,
right.
or we should chat GPT it or whatever it's called.
Oh yeah. that
Oh
would be
yeah, that would actually be kind of fun.
interesting.
What's
Yeah.
the
Throw it in
Indiana
there. What's an Indiana
Snowblower?
snowblower? Or come up with the sex move that's the Indiana snowblower.
See, I don't know what app to use for that. Even like for the Chat GPT. I don't know.
Some
where to go.
AI
I don't know
thing.
where to go.
You could go just directly to their website, but you have to sign up for it, and that's the one thing that keeps me from using it. It's like,
yeah.
I don't want to. I just want to test something
Just
and
wanna
try
test
it for
something,
fun.
Yeah.
And
Right.
wanna
not,
I've tested
you know,
photos
something.
before.
Yeah.
But that's about it.
I could just maybe go dig up a Hotmail account and do it.
Yeah, yeah, you could.
Think of a
Right.
Hotmail account.
You still
Well,
need to
interesting
verify
enough,
your
that's
email.
how Linkin Park did their Lost music video was through AI. The entirety,
Mhm.
they made the whole video using that, and they did a good
Yeah,
job.
it's
I
a
don't
good
know
job.
how AI works that way, and it's.
I
kinda
bet you they
scary.
didn't have
There-
to sign up their email though.
Probably
They
not.
They weren't worried
They have
about
their
it.
own
There's-
AI.
There's a really cool video. I really wish I remember who the company was, but I watched it because I saw some artist that was like kind of complaining about AI art and stuff, and was complaining about this company because they actually took AI and made an animated scene from a live action. They turned their live action scene into an anime using AI, and then I watched. It's like a 20-minute video. And it shows you what they had to do to make sure they like start smoothing the edges on the face, how they had to submit pictures of themselves, as well as all these, like they use Vampire Hunter D as a reference point. So they were feeding all of that into it, and the stages of here it's super choppy too. It was like super clean, and it almost looks exactly like it. There's still some like funkiness with the angles, like even down to the backgrounds, and this is how I want you to render the background and get it set. It's really interesting. I think something to check out. If I can find it, I'll put it in the show notes
Awesome.
Yeah.
before we do
Interesting.
that stuff.
Well, thank you guys for joining us.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Had a
Of
lot of
course.
fun with everything. You know, I'm kind of sad that Patrick won that last game. I was expecting
Yeah.
somebody else to run away with it.
But now you guys have some new stuff to
Hey,
try
hey, some
with your
new
partners.
moves in the
Yeah.
bedroom.
Mhm.
New
You can
stuff
try
to
it.
try.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So why don't you guys promote yourself?
Yes,
Give your
please. Okay.
links. Tell everybody where to find you.
All right. Since I do it on our show, I'm going to just take it away. You can find us on YouTube, youtube.com/PTO Unlimited. We go live every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We've been moving the show around a lot, but I think Tuesday is going to stick for a while, especially since a lot of announcements come out on Monday and Tuesday afternoon. So it's really good to have for the show and stick to be more relevant throughout the week. And then also we're on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. You can just search us PTO Unlimited on any of those platforms. And also we're on Discord with the It Be Like That podcast as well. So we share that as far as like promoting all of our stuff and channels. And if you want to, for me on Twitch, I do stream during the week. I will be doing Thursday and Saturday and moving into Sunday mornings. And you'll find me there, twitch.tv/Mr. L. And then Alex, you can go ahead and plug
Yep.
your.
I'm also a Twitch streamer, so twitch.tv/cute_kitty, KUTE_KITTI, and I stream on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday evenings. Into Fall Guys right now. I'm into Destiny 2 Lightfall, which hopefully we're gonna get to tonight. Last night was a little fluke, and then also into Halo Infinite right now.
Yeah. And then also I'm on Twitter as well, @_Mr. L.
Brett
And-
_wings.
Cute_kitty. I was like, that's kind of
We
our
do the round
closing.
thing. So that's us.
Awesome.
Awesome.